always say that I am excited, and I believe tonight is going to be an amazing night. We didn't necessarily broadcast that we're doing this, but I really believe that many believers are expecting things from God, and I believe that this season we've already declared that for us in our church, Contagious Church Tampa, we've already said that this is the year of overflow. And so we're believing God for that, the people of God will begin to experience a dimension of overflow that they've not necessarily seen in the past. And then at the same time, we're also praying for God. And one of the things that we prayed for on Sunday was that God would open up the eyes of our understanding so that we would fully know the hope of the calling that we have, number one. And then number two, so that we could tap into a level of revelation, understanding, a level of access that we have not necessarily had before. I am a firm believer in that. We talked about, matter of fact, I talked about it Sunday, that God gave us a revelation on the subject of suddenly, and for years we traveled the United States, we traveled overseas, pushing that message of suddenly, and so we've seen it, we understand it, and so, but at the same time, the building that we were in, there were probably about 5,000 people in that building at the time, and God only showed that message to us. Mm-hmm. And so God can give you a revelation, just like the Apostle Paul was on the Damascus Road, and God spoke to him, and he didn't necessarily speak to anybody else. And then there were the two young men that were on the road to Emmaus when Jesus came. And this was after his resurrection, but before his ascension. And so all of a sudden, the Bible says that he opened the eyes of their understanding. And so that's my prayer, is for you guys, that there would be an opening of your understanding, that there would be another dimension that God illuminates to you, causes you to understand. And so do something for us. Please share the broadcast, let other people know that we're on. If you're watching this broadcast afterwards, then we definitely want you to definitely be able to share the broadcast, and then tune in every night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Now, of course, that's going to be a lot of work, but I believe God will grace us for the next 31 days to be able to come on and broadcast and pray with you and make decrees and declarations for this next season. Another thing that we're talking about, again, we're talking about 31 days of suddenly, that God is going to do something miraculous in these next 31 days, and it's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. And so I really believe that. I believe that even as our church is fasting and we are praying and we're believing God for breakthrough in many areas, at the same time, we would love for you to join in with us. We'd love you to join us. Today was day number 1, and you can hop in tomorrow and you can get your fasting and prayer in. Most of what we're doing from midnight to 3. Some people are doing from midnight to 6, and that's no food, no water. But then if people need if you need a meal because you need to eat something, or you need to tap into, I don't know how to necessarily say it, but like for instance, if you have medicine that you have to take or something like that, then we want you to do that. But at the same time, I really believe that these days of abstinence and of consecrating and making your focus be on God, that God will do something miraculous, that He'll do something amazing for you. And so we're really excited. Tonight we got a really, really good friend and a brother. Sometimes you have friends that what you wouldn't necessarily a friend and a brother, but I am excited to bring our friend who is here from Ohio onto the screen with us. And again, I'm excited and believing God that God's going to do something in your life that's abnormal. Now, let me say this real quick. I'm gonna let my wife hop in just a second. But I was last night, Prophet Sean. Last night, you at the end of the service, you were prophesying, and you brought up the fact that God was going to do something miraculous in people's credit. Mm-hmm. And so you begin to prophesy that, and all of a sudden people started to get dings on their phone that said your credit just went up. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, who does that, But I believe that God can give a prophet a revelation, and He will give you insight into things that are going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that for me is very important. So I really, really want you to be a part of the prayer tonight. and I'll give you time to even. I know you just released a new book recently,
Yes, sir.
and I think my wife published this book.
Amazing.
No, I'm just being facetious, but I think you published the book for it, and I really believe it's gonna do very, very well. You're already doing well with it as you travel around the United States. But I also believe that that's just the first of many books that you're going to write. You know, I don't think that's going to be your last. I mean, I see books coming out of you, man, left and right, because there's so much revelation and so much wisdom that you have. And so, at any rate, let me also say this. And I think that you're going to read from. I know you just got through with what I would say is our largest book. It's even larger than Sudden Breakthrough, or larger than Divine Dispatch. I think it's would you say 76,000 words that you've written?
Yes.
Wow, jeez. And so it's all prayers that 31 it's probably over 100 prayers, but all of them are prayers from A to Z that release you suddenly. And so we're doing these 31 days of suddenly because we want to pray those prayers, and we want to believe God so that the people of God can receive something that they didn't receive before, and they can get revelation that they didn't have before. You want to say something very quickly before I bring Prophet Sean, and then also I'm going to have us to begin to pray. And we're just going to pray like we always pray. I'll pray, or you pray, and then Prophet Sean can pray, and then we'll keep going from there.
Well, good morning, everyone.